Hey everybody, Dawn Kendrick here with some good news. And the good news is that you're only going to hear good news here. I am a repurposed news reporter, and I am finally doing the stories that have been burning in my heart for so long. They're stories that uplift, encourage, and inspire, and they are real, and they're raw, and they're vulnerable. They're the good stuff stories, and we see it over and over again that through it all, through the middle of our biggest challenges, together we can, together we will. Let's go see the good and be the good. On your mark, get set, let's go. Hey, good stuff, family. Good morning. We are at another Friday. Welcome. These are the days where we chat it out and we talk about the things that have been on our minds throughout the week, but we also are going to look forward to the story that we are going to be releasing on Monday for the first part of our God at Work series for the premiere story. And it's a good one. Well, I mean, they're all good ones. We have all 12 slots already filled up and more waiting in the wings because we know here and what we profess is that God is always at work and that he weaves. So thank you for joining us. And if you're new, especially, would you mind to just comment here so that we know that you're here? That's the only way we can tell. There are usually more people watching than commenting. So we're coming to you today actually from Florida because we're visiting Travi's mama Liberty. And there have been some really, can you see that? There have been some really plugged in moments for me that I wanted to share, especially yesterday when we woke up and we did this mindful meditation type thing with a friend of hers, Hillary. And how can I get a show of hands in the comments? How many people feel like when a cardinal appears, a loved one is near? That's what the little sign says that Mindy bought. And these peace dove, like turtle doves, I call them. I don't know if that's right, but there's one, seriously, y'all, sitting on the wall right outside our window in the last 30 seconds, just looking at us. You see?
It's a robin.
It's not, babe. Can you see him? It's like some sort of a dove. He goes, it's a robin.
I think it's one of those birds.
Can you take a picture?
It's a bird that has a wing.
Grab your phone. I'm going to see we're going to see people weighing in on what this bird is. But for me, especially since now there are two. So I'm going to go with it's Marlene and Larry. That's how I think. My mom, who passed away February 23rd, 8 years ago to the day that my dad passed away, is when she went to be with him and God. And it was unexpected, pretty much. She had dementia, but she really wasn't sick. And so I thought I would share that with you guys. We say that we're real and vulnerable. Some people will be like, what is she talking about? But how many people do? Do you feel that? Like when we say angels among us, that sometimes they pop up when we most need them. Hi, Rich. Good morning. Good morning, Kelly. Hey, do y'all hear this audio just fine? Let us know again, because we're remote. We're doing things different, a remote studio here. But so I'm going to show you. Let's see if we can get these pictures that I put in yesterday. So right before we did this meditation with Hillary yesterday morning, it's just mindfulness where you just kind of be silent and let anything that's around, any of the sounds that are around you, you're just more aware and focused on exactly maybe how you're supposed to set the tone for the day. And sure enough, you guys, not within a minute of us logging on to this meditation, here is this cardinal. I wouldn't even have seen him. Travis like, hey, look, a cardinal. And he's looking in the window, right? And I felt like my mama was here to do meditation with Travi and I and his mama. I felt like like sometimes we get little signs. Let me see if I can show you this.
You and he are leaning up against something and talking about it. My air conditioning, and I had to go like
See?
this.
Look at him. What?
It's
What? And he
conversation.
didn't stay long.
I
He.
didn't like that.
But there he is. And plus, I'm from St.
I
Louis,
know what you
and
just
so
said. Did you hear
the
what I just
Cardinals
said?
extra special for us. But when you see that kind of thing, seconds within the minute before you sit down, and my mind goes to good memories of my mama, things that that we were able to say before she was gone, not even knowing. For my dad, it was different. He was on hospice, but I said my last words to my mama an hour and a half before she died, and I left, and I didn't know that would be the last time I saw her. So I'm sitting there in that moment, and I feel like sometimes nature and coordination with our angels, God sometimes says, "Hey, it's just a different plane, y'all." How do you feel about that? Do you guys feel the same way? That it's not necessarily gone, it's just a different plane. And then I look down the stool, the footstool in front of us that I've seen every time I'm here. But what do you tell me what you see here on this footstool? I'm gonna run it again. Hold on. Do you see it? It looks like crosses to me. And I'm like, am I crazy? I don't know, maybe. What do you say? Listen, we're honest and we're real and genuine. So share some of your stories. Would you hear? This is later in the day when I was telling my friend about this. She had called to tell me about some fabulous things that had happened to her. And then I look out the window and here, what do I see again later in the day?
Oh, it's time. Oh, it's time.
So that's why I named this one today Angels Among Us. Also because I really do believe that when we are open, when our hearts and our minds are open, remember Paul said, "Will protect your hearts and your minds" in Philippians 4:6. When they're open, we see more, I think. And here, this was just hanging out when we went to this therapist, this physical therapist massage guy who's amazing. And this was just kind of hanging out on his shelf. Let whatever you do today be enough. Right. It's a sign with words on it. But for me, I needed it. I really did. I needed it that day. And this one was there as well. And so today I'm proposing that going into this weekend and beyond, that we begin each day with a grateful heart, that we look for the writing on the wall, literally. And then in classic form, Mama Liberty, who we love, comes over last night before bed and said, "Look at this. I'm going to hang this on my refrigerator." This sets the tone for us today. Good morning. Eyes up, hearts up, minds sharp, which is her, 84 years old. Compassion on full blast. Okay, let's go. Does that sound familiar? On your mark, get set, let's go. I'm going to read it again. Good morning. Eyes up, hearts up, minds sharp, compassion on full blast. Okay, let's go. If you're listening to this in podcast form, we also stream it. You can find the links on our you can find the links on our sorry, producer Travi letting me know videos in here. You can find the link to the video pod streams that we do at thegoodstufffamily.com. So that's where you'll see Mama Liberty sign, "Good morning, eyes up, hearts up, mind sharp, compassion on full blast." Okay, let's go.
And you have a humorous version of that on your kitchen counter, which is parallel. What does that one say? Do you remember all the pieces of it?
On my kitchen
By
counter.
your coffee maker?
Oh, right. Mindy Lee gave it to me. It was
Yeah.
like coffee in hand, big girl panties pulled up, ready to take on the day or something. And sometimes I seriously do have to read it and be like, all right, I got this. I got this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So, good morning, Jan. I see that some of you are commenting, and I'm so grateful. If you're watching, would you mind to comment? That's how we know we're here, because the conversation that we have relies on you all in the comments for now, anyway. So,
They comment, therefore I am.
I don't know. I felt particularly grateful yesterday, and if you've had those moments, then you know what I mean. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And today is a day one of our really good friends, family, absolutely family, grassroots, good stuff, ground level family members, good stuff family, Tim Tusick and Dorini Tusick are, as we speak, I do believe, in the middle of a really important surgery for Tim. A part 2 of what literally is to be life saving, but it's complicated, it's long, and it has a lot of recovery involved. So, in gratitude today, we come together grateful for everything that lies ahead of us today, whatever tasks are at hand. And I was wondering if I could read this. I haven't read it yet either, but that we're doing a novena with Tim and Doreen. Is that the air conditioner?
Maybe that's the shower.
Oh, okay. Sorry, there's sounds we don't know. And the air conditioner, by the way, is out in Florida. Last night it went out, and we're like, really, God? But it's not bad. It's pretty cool. But I think it might be efforting back on because we keep hearing. Okay, it's not. That was too optimistic. Anyway, pardon that interruption. So Tim and Dorini Tusick are two of the greatest people, and they lead by example in saying, all right, God, we're going to walk by faith through all of this, this cancer diagnosis, even after their son, Timmy, beat the odds and beating cancer a year early. And now Tim, Sr., warrioring through as well. So they asked if we would do these novenas with them. Again, I haven't read this one yet, but I thought maybe we could share it and maybe it would speak to you all as well. So day 3, how many things I do when the soul in so much spiritual and material need turns to me, looks at me and says to me, you take care of it, then close its eyes and rest. In other words, I surrender all is the phrase that we've been using on the group text with the 2-6. That's huge. I surrender all. 3 words that are loaded. All. Whoa, that's hard sometimes. In pain, you pray for me to act, but that I act in the way you want. You do not turn to me. Instead, it says you want me to adapt to your ideas. Whoa, don't we pray that way? We do. We're just conditioned to pray for what it is that we think we need, what it is that we think needs to be. You're not sick people who ask the doctor to cure you, but rather sick people who tell the doctor how to. So do not act this way. This again is a novena. If you're just joining us, it's a novena that we're saying for our friend Tim Tusick in surgery today. But pray as I taught you in the Our Father, hallowed be thy name. Let this be glorified in my need. This is my mouse pad. Let this be glorified in my need. Thy kingdom come. That is, let all that is in us and in the world be in accord with your kingdom. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That is, in our need, decide as you see fit for our temporal and eternal life. If you say to me, truly, thy will be done. How many times have we said that in the Our Father? Thy will be done, which is the same as saying, you take care of it. I will intervene with all my omnipotence, and I will resolve the most difficult situations. How peaceful are those words? Oh, Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. I propose that'll be the mantra for us today and moving forward, ultimately. I surrender myself to you, Jesus. Take care of everything. It's that simple, but so hard. It's so hard, isn't it? It seems so hard, you guys. I'm going to take a look at the comments. Mindy Lee saying we love Tim Tusick and his beautiful, strong, resilient warrior family. That's exactly what they are. And they are giving it all to God right now in this super serious, important surgery. Patricia Griswold, good morning. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. We have older Good Stuff family members. We have newer Good Stuff family members as we're growing the Good Stuff family tree 2023. I see your names. I feel your hearts. And we just, we come together on these Friday mornings to just be there for each other. When we say together we can, together we will, it starts by coming together. And look at Travi, all the people making sure to say good morning, Travis. Travi, his mama is 84 years old. Like he got all her good genes. Like he'll never look his age. And she's killing it. Isn't she, babe? Tell him about your mama. Like she's so awesome. I love her.
Okay, here's a story. Yesterday morning, we're doing this. She has this friend who's, I think in her, I don't know, maybe 40s, who runs a mindfulness session every Thursday morning. And it's 30 minutes long. And there's like, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe 10 people who join it. And it's a Zoom, so it's all over the country. These people are everywhere. And most of them are older, nice ladies with New York accents. So I think they're scattered around. And so anyway, my mom does this. And so we joined her yesterday
in person this time.
With her in
Yeah,
person,
we're
but
with
on
her.
Zoom with everybody else.
Right.
And so then about 10 minutes before it ends, she disappears. And Hillary says, "What happened to Liberty?" And I said, "Well, my 84-year-old mother had to go drive Meals on Wheels for the quote unquote elderly."
Right.
So she was gone for, I don't know what, 4 hours yesterday. She had to drive down to Hobe Sound, which is like, I don't know, 45 minutes from here, and do a route down there. So she does this. She was doing it several times a week, but it got to be too much. So I think she's doing it once a week now. But she's delivering meals to people who are in some cases 30 years younger.
Right.
And
the
they're
7-year-old whippersnapper.
and they're homebound. Yeah. So so as long as you're homebound, it's not necessarily for people with economic needs. It's just for people who can't get out. So they deliver meals to them, and that could be somebody of any age who's unable to get out.
Right. And we say,
so that's just one of many stories of my mom's. Yeah, and about 5 times a day, Donnie says, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just heard that out of your mother's mouth," because it'll be like,
very hip.
Yeah.
Mama Liberty.
Yeah, something about, I really need to clean out my spam folder, things like that. Yeah. Oh, this new iPad keyboard is just kicking butt.
Right. And she has her tech savvy son helping her out. And it's awesome to see. And that was powerful for me all yesterday.
And we're not always patient with each other, I will say.
No one, moms and daughters and sons, of course not. You're not always patient. It's family. That's what we do. But we show up. And I was going to say, when you were explaining what she does, we say that we try to be the hands and feet of Christ. She's literally showing up in her car, zipping around town as the hands and feet of Christ to these people, extending a meal. And sometimes she's the only person that they see. She talked about a guy she felt so bad because he was missing. His gums were so sore and he couldn't get into the dentist. He couldn't even put his teeth in. So she's, yeah. And that he couldn't get into the dentist for 2 weeks.
And then this won't surprise anyone.
If you have teeth, be grateful, we're saying today. And even if you don't.
Sorry. Some people don't even have teeth. I mean, and of course, this is reason number 973 to love Donnie. But, when I come down here, I fix everything. I'm her handyman. But when Donnie comes with me, she's just so thoughtful. So she says, "Why don't we hopefully my mom's not listening, so this will be a surprise. But why don't we go get your mom's car detailed for her, clean the outside and inside? Never would have thought of that. It's just not how my brain works. My brain works based on um, requests. And then on her birthday in February, we sent her, Donnie's idea was to send her flowers. So we sent her some really nice flowers. We were in Cleveland and sent them down here. So it just brings a whole new element to things when you're here.
Well, I say Trevi is a beautiful brain because he's so smart, but he
But I'm like a help desk. The help
No,
desk
you-
never does anything thoughtful for you. They
That's
just
not true at all.
come when you call them.
not true at all. So, needless to say, I'm so grateful. You regular listeners know we've been friends for 32 years. Back in college, he was my best buddy in journalism school. Oh, he's pointing out it's 33 years now. You're right, because
We've been together almost a year.
May 9th. No, yeah, like my kids counting down, but it flies. But then when you realize like you have a person, that's huge. And I'm looking at all the names on here. Y'all are our people. And it's there for the taking is the message. If you're listening for the first time, again, if you're listening on the podcast version, thegoodstufffamily.com, you can see the videos that we show and the pictures. But that's what happens. Like these stories bring people together. Wait till you see. I'm going to use this mouse pad really quickly. Wait till you see the story that we're going to bring on Monday. So again, I don't even remember how I found this new woman, Sherry. Babe, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, I need my space. Remember on Saturday Night Live when they said, explore the space, the cowbell?
Yeah.
You're going to want to explore the space. You're going to want
what
more.
was his name? Gene.
And it was Gene. Yeah. Fellas, you're going to want more cowbell. Anyway, so I'm queuing up these pictures. So the story that we're going to bring to you on Monday, Sherry Caruso, she retired and she said that her husband goes, look, you're not going to sit around watching Netflix in your jammies. And so she thought, I'm bored out of my mind. What can I do? So she did this little project, started an extension of Special Spaces in Cleveland where they go in and they they completely redo deserving cancer warrior kids' rooms for them. And they've done I think 150 rooms so far and counting. Let's see if we can show you a little bit of this one video, a little sneak peek. If you saw that very last image, the wall is a rock climbing wall for these kids, you all, this cancer warrior and his brother. And they come in, they do 3 knocks. What can we knock on? You have anything to knock on? Ready? And then that's the kids' cue to come into the room. And one after another of these happy faces, here they are all together. So yeah, the kids loves it was a Super Mario theme. So there's Mario and what's his brother's name?
Luigi.
And Luigi.
Mhm.
So you're gonna get to personally meet the people behind those rooms, the woman behind it. And when we say see the good, be the good, she saw the good in these kids and then pledged to be the good for them. But like she said, it's not cheap. So she's not a business. She's not an entrepreneur or a business savvy woman, but she finds ways to raise money to decorate these rooms. And that's what we're doing and growing this Good Stuff family tree as well. So there you have it. Now I'm inspired by her, by telling the story, and round and round it goes. That's how it happens. And I'm so excited. Like I say, the Good Stuff family tree 2023 is growing. And the next season we're doing is called the God at Work series. because we're doing it in honor of my mama, who said that for everything, that she saw God at work in everything. So I just strive to be more like that. And did we get that lizard video in, babe?
No, it refused.
It wouldn't do it. It was
It
too
would not
long.
cooperate.
All right, I'm going to share one more deep thought that's not going to be as poignant without the video. But when I went for a walk yesterday in Florida, the wildlife is entirely different. Travis said his mom watched a family of armadillos cross in the backyard. We're from like mid-Missouri. And yeah, and the baby armadillo, it took him like 2 hours to get across,
Yeah.
But they also have all these little lizards wandering around, little lizards, which I have a newfound
They're pretty
affinity.
big, actually. They're not like the little ones you see.
Oh yeah,
you
the
know,
rainbow head ones are
Yeah.
beautiful. But I have this newfound affinity for my niece and nephew's bearded dragon, Ollie. They call him alligator, which in 1,000 years, in a million years, I never thought I would have an affinity, more or less want to touch this thing. He's so ugly. He just is. And I say, it's not your fault. You were born ugly. He's actually a super good boy. And he has a
I think
personality.
he's really cool and tough looking. I think he's badass myself.
Yeah, he's very tough looking, but I look at him and I'm like, what was God thinking? And the truth is, he has a personality. Like, and it's not long before you don't even see the outside. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's so true.
If he was on a rock in New Mexico, he would blend in perfectly. So that's what that color is all about. You know, he
Sure.
can hide from whatever eats lizards, whatever eats bearded dragons.
That's a really good point. That God made him very adaptable, right? And he does this, like he was just sitting on. He likes to like go up by your neck on the left side, like so he can hear. Literally, I know that's. I'm pretty sure so he can literally hear and feel like your heartbeat. And he did this. Like a little exhale, a little hand to God. He did. He's done it a few times. He's relaxed, and you think, oh my gosh.
And then after that, he said, "Oh, Donnie."
No, that I'm telling you, I have a whole newfound appreciation for things that in the past I would have run from. That's the whole point I'm trying to get to.
It's so interesting. You know, I've never been around anything but dogs, nothing. And so then being with you for the last year, I've learned all about a cat, which is a whole different experience. It's just it's like a completely different thing. And then being around and
his personality, Leonardo's personality. Yeah.
And then being around a reptile is a whole different thing, because this thing will lie down next to you and sleep, get on his stomach, put his face flat on the ground, just like they lie, on a rock,
and
sleep
all night.
the entire night, never move, never roll over, never stretch, never yawn. I mean, just in the exact same spot, just because their bodies are totally different than ours.
He's just content to be held. Like, you don't think of it. So that I came to Florida and see all these lizards running around in the parking lot with a whole newfound appreciation for them. They, however, aren't as friendly as but I wanted to show you the video, how they're like, their little legs move so fast, like they scurry so quickly away from something that is not a threat. I'm not a threat, but they don't know that. Just like I didn't realize Ollie was not a threat. So I had this deep thought, why do we scurry so quickly in life, like trying to avoid things that seem like they're going to be painful or something we wouldn't have chosen? What if we took a second to sit still? And that's what the video showed at a couple points. This rainbow lizard, his like defense thing is where he stops and makes himself completely flat, like I can't see him, completely flat on the parking lot. And then as you get closer, he's like, oh God, I gotta go. And he like runs away. But I thought, that's us. Like we just get so paranoid sometimes. But almost, if we would just stop and be still for a moment, to be still and know that I'm God and listen for what God has for us in the moment. That was much better with the video, but we weren't able to get it in. So I leave that with you guys there. We try to be respectful of your time and keep these to half an hour. So I leave that there. I also want to remind you again, if you would, throughout the day, to pray for Tim Tusick. We know the power of prayer. We know that they have surrendered. I surrender all. That song has been in my head for 2 days now. I surrender all. I always said I'd never sing again when I did that in broadcast news, but if you know the song, you know it. And let that be in our hearts, and not just to say the words, but to really try whatever we're up against today to surrender it all. That's my thought I have for you. And if Travi would get off my mouse pad, I could move. Thank you, babe. I'm going to go ahead and close out with that in gratitude for all of you. And that is our prayer today. That's our prayer today, that we surrender all to you. We surrender all. That word is loaded. Surrender all. That's where we stand. That's where we rest. And as always, I love you all, and I'm so grateful for you all. If you were inspired at all today, we ask that you would share. If you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe and share. That's how we build this Good Stuff Family Tree 2023. Thanks again for being part of the family, and God bless. This has been a Grassroots Good Stuff Family production. Big love and gratitude to our friend Carlos Jones, who is the talented voice and creator behind this music that sets the tone for these good stuff stories. Huge gratitude and love as well for our social media director. She is Danielle Folk and is consistently going above and beyond. Follow her at Farmhouse Storyteller. And to the producer, my Travi, the glue that holds together the moving parts of this God-inspired endeavor. TheGoodStuffFamily.com is where you'll find links for all the things we're doing, including how to be a sponsor of a story. So grateful for our faithful sponsors who have already made so much of what we do possible. And of course, big love and gratitude for you, the listeners, helping to grow this Good Stuff Family Tree 2023. Welcome to the family.